Test. Do, 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 do. All right. Can y'all hear me? Awesome. Thanks, Mon. Just give everybody a little bit more time. I know we said we start at 10, but yeah, we'll just do a little bit more here. All right, we'll get started. As with last week, I pretty much just go through this routine on a nightly and weekly basis. I look at some of the setups that we have in Discord here that the bot comes out with and just start charting these to see if there's anything that looks like a potential juicy setup, whether it's to the upside or the downside. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. I'll just kind of take it from the top. 2 up, 2 downs, 3 2 downs. I think a lot of people have their favorite setups, but I figured what I'll do before we really get into these is actually take a look at the sectors in general and see if there's anything that might be popping. So start with the top down, I guess, some XLF. So with XLF, we got a 312, nothing really great there. I mean, we might have a, yeah, Yeah, nothing really nice. I mean, we'd probably be looking for either a complete reversal on the daily. I guess we could look at the weekly. That might help. Yeah, so on the weekly, we're kind of looking at a pivot machine gun. This is a previous support level that I drew out. But if we were able to pop to the upside, then we might actually see some move in the finance area. But we definitely need to be able to see a crack above the 39-36 area, along with obviously that would be a reversal for the week at that point. XLE, haven't touched that one in a while, so we'll not worry. Let's clear the drawing set there. Alright, just another 2-2. Looks like we're probably going to be seeing a lot of need for reversals in the coming week. That one's pretty utilities. I like that one. 3-2. So this was a red down 2, but it turned green on the week. So this could end up being a nice little 3-2-2 bullish reversal. Maybe the green one would indicate that the buyers stepped in to bring the candlestick back up. So it'd be an interesting one. Downfall is there's not a huge move that we'd be anticipating. I mean, we have a 68.18 area for some resistance to start with, but that looks pretty nice, moving up to the 69 area. So XLU might be a sector to keep an eye on. Not really seeing much in a way of broadening formation there. I guess we could do that. So that'd be interesting. XLU, keep an eye on that. And then let's see, moving on to XLK. So again, a 3 and a 2 red. So that's really not much of a help for us there. XLC, another 2 down, 2 down. Just get rid of some of the old drawings here. XAR, that's going to be the space industry. XBI. Two, kind of there's nothing that looks just juicy as far as setups go and the sectors themselves. It's kind of been a pretty bloody week across the board, it looks like. Maybe some, oh wow, that's an old one. The sectors actually in a while, so anyway, a lot of just down. So with that being said, I suppose we'll move on to the actual setups themselves. So if there's any that y'all want to see, just pop them in the chat there. We'll do some little charting and go from there. So I'm going to start with the 3-2 downs. I mean, just be aware of the reversals. We have 2 ups and 2 downs, but yep. Layla's corn definitely lots of things ended bearish. I don't know if this is going to be a first week candle for December. Is not looking pretty for much at all. All right, so 3-2 down. I kind of like these just because you have a lot of potential to hit that price target on the top of the 3, and the way in this case XLU, Nike, Pep, and Pepsi, and the chip guy, TSM, so XLU, we already kind of looked at that one. But in this case, the price target, I mean, this really came back. And again, those alerts that we're looking at in the Discord, they're for the specific pattern of this. In case we 3 down, actually 3 in general, but we want a 3 down, but then the 2 down, but it's going to be green. So that's the setup that we're going to see for Nike, Pepsi, and TSM here. So let's see what kind of move Nike has on the week. Oops, wrong way. Again, Nike. Wow, there we go. Started at 173.37. That would be the trigger, all the way to 177. So that's not actually a horrible move for Nike. If I move to the daily, the ATR, so the average range that it's going to move is about $4. So, times 5 could, if it decided to go completely bullish, I mean, we could see a $20 move in the week. So seeing a $4 price target for the whole week wouldn't be unrealistic. Again, that's assuming things turn around. We are looking at a 1.3 though, so it's just a 1-bar rev strat. Something to be aware of. But yeah, that'd be my entry point, that'd be my point to start looking at entering a Nike play and moving it to 177. That would be the area that we'd be looking at for the price target. And then we got Pepsi. Move back to the week. So Pepsi, that looks pretty strong. 2 down, but I mean, pretty much, the buyers really took control of that week. That's crazy considering everything else is so red. But that's awesome. So, I mean, we could be looking at all-time highs for Pepsi next week again. So, who knows from there? I mean, at that point, start using like some of the Fibonacci like extensions to be able to kind of see where this could potentially go. Probably end up doing that on the daily though. So that's Pepsi. We got, what was the other one? TSM. So TSM has a pretty Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's see, review. So 123.51 to 128.09. Not a huge move, but I mean, man, if we can get over that 128 and 130, if we get over 130, we could be again looking. We got some other weekly levels to deal with, but this has a lot of movement to the upside if it does decide to go there, and it looks like it has a pretty good amount of support down here at 107. So that's it's not too bad of a play to look at there. Only downfall if we're playing weeklies, not a lot of volume going into those. Yeah, not a ton of volume. I mean, it's not illiquid, but it's definitely not liquid like a lot of the other ones that we look at. All right, quickly moving on there. So we got, can I look at eBay? Yeah, why not? Let's do eBay right quick. So eBay is a fun play. I do enjoy eBay. So let's clear all this out since it pretty much completely failed that broadening formation. So start with higher high to higher high. Go there to there. I mean, actually, we'll just do this 2 and that 3. So eBay, just a solid 2 down, 2 down. Almost kind of have a pivot machine gun play, but I definitely want to see eBay rebound over 72.66 for a play there. Otherwise 66.28 to the downside. And then you get a little bit of support, previous support on the week at 65 area. And then you got a pretty solid drop. So I mean, I see a downside play here that looks pretty solid, especially considering the bloody week. It has a lot to rebound. I mean, that might as well be a 3-bar. It's huge. So, all right, go ahead and mark those. Actually, I'm going to just mark the red one since I'm looking at that as a downside play. But yeah, that's it does have a lot of downside. I mean, true range on the daily, like $2, 225. So, I mean, realistically, yeah, dropping below 66.28, not too bad of I mean, realistic. Yeah, I mean, you could easily go to 64 in a day, and then yeah, this could definitely go down more. Things bounce at the yep. Yeah, Zayas, they sure did, and that's what makes it hard. That's one of the reasons why we talk about in the strat to let things open. I mean, it's just good practice, no matter what strategy you're looking at. Things did bounce at the end of the day, and you never know. I mean, some people were talking to me in Discord about maybe swinging some spy calls or spy puts, and my suggestion, again, take it with a grain of salt, but mine was to not swing if you don't have to, just because again, you don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, if I sit here and look at SPY on the daily, yay, a green day here, and then a big red day, and then a really big red day, and then a green day to mess with everybody, and then another red day. I mean, nobody knows what's going on right now. I can't even, this isn't a trend. So it's chop. So yeah, I don't think waiting till Tuesday or Monday afternoon is a bad approach to, especially reserve your capital, because that's what the name of the game is here. Don't give it to the house if you don't have to. All right, 3-1 setup, ABV. Go back to the weekly. Ugh, it's not really a nice 3-1 setup. So when I look at these, I mean, I see the price target. It's a whole dollar. Maybe not even a dollar, it's like 50 cents. So with the strat, it tells you to sit here and take here's where your entry point would be 119, your exit point would be 119.33. So that's just no fun. So what I end up looking at is I'll extend that up here. So my move would be, my entry point would be 119.33 if we get past that point, because the next level of actual resistance that I'm looking at is going to be 121. So that's really how I would approach something like ABV. If we look at the daily, while the bars looked impressive, we're looking at $2 on average a day. So not as big as those bars made it look, really, but those are, again, weekly bars. So yeah, ABV is not really a bad idea. Oh wow, yeah. I guess in technical analysis, we'd be looking at maybe a cup and handle, so then it gets up here to the 121 area, and then possibly starts kind of drooping down a little bit to do something there. So that was a 3-1, kind of a amended 3-1 though. So we got UNH and Z. These are reversals that happened last week. So we'll get clear the drawing set here. Now the one thing about, if I recall, I was looking at UNH last week, it's just the option chains, there's just not a lot of actual open interest or volume in here. So this is what I would consider a liquid option. I mean, it's not that you wouldn't be able to make the sale, but the fact is, if you try to go sell it, I mean, you can run into some issues. Oh, you got some lag issues. Okay, yeah, it's definitely something I'll have to work through then. This is my first time going live, so I didn't know how bad the lag will be. Zayas. So let me see if I can change anything. Give me 1 second. looks like I'd have to kill the stream if I wanted to try to change the video. I am actually sitting here on Wi-Fi. I just realized that I didn't have my little dongle plugged in. So next time I will plug in directly. That'll probably save a lot of problems. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, that's UNH. Nice little reversal there. Got a top at 466. What else we got? 2 1s. Those are probably my favorite setup. So we'll look at Intel, FCX, and Peloton. INTC. Well, the only bummer with Intel is that the 2 price target doesn't have a lot of play. So is the audio delayed as well, Zayas? So that you hear me first and then the video shows up like later? I'm kind of looking at the little replay here. I don't know if it's actually live or not. Okay. Oh, sorry if there is any lag. Like I said, I'll fix that hopefully for next time by just plugging in directly to my router. All right, so anyway, we're sitting here looking at Intel on the weekly. The 2-1 play would be from 50.40 to 50.85. That's kind of a bore. Not much of a play there, so let's go ahead and clear our drawing set. I don't like anything about Intel right now on the weekly. And just a bunch of chop on the daily, so I'm not going to worry about Intel. We got FCX and Piton. So FCX is kind of interesting to me. I was looking at the 3 bar, so that's on the day. I was looking at the 3 bar on the day actually, but then I saw a 2-1 setup here, and you can see the screen. Can you not hear audio? But we do have, I mean, this really isn't a bad play on a weekly level. Okay, cool, Layla, thank you. Going from 38.55 to the 39.24, man, I'd almost wait until we get over the 39.24 mark because there is a pretty awesome move to 41. Played Freeport in the past. It's not bad. When it moves, it likes to move, but DTR on it, not a ton. So it's not a fast mover. I really like to try to find those really liquid plays that just have a lot of movement ability. Like the Apple, like basically tech, but at the same time, they go in the wrong direction. Thanks, Phyllis. If they go in the wrong direction, that's obviously something you got to deal with too. So anyway, Intel or FCX on the weekly doesn't look horrible. I'd be moving my entry point to here though, and my price target would be that 41.24 area, or at least that's where I would be tightening my stop. So if I can tighten my stop, so where I'm not losing any money, and maybe even getting a little bit if the play completely reverses on me, but tightening my stop to the point where, gosh, you get here's your next level area, and then all the way to 44, 50-ish, 45. But I mean, in the course of a week, I don't know about that, but what I say, $1.71, so $5 maybe in a week if it continues completely bullish. So that's something to just keep in mind. All right, next one is going to be Peloton. This one moves a lot. Almost PMG type stuff. So let's see, pretty tight. You got maybe a 20-cent move here. It's definitely started consolidating a lot. So just a lot smaller moves than the drastic drops that we'll end up having. But when it comes out with earnings and things. But let's see. And this would be the play I want. Above 54.94, moving all the way to here. I mean, that would almost, completely almost reverse the almost PMG, but then you got this, mother bar type problem here, this big old bar where it's going to take time to get back up here. It's crazy how much Peloton's fallen though. Wow. All right, what else? Got some PMGs, XLF, DKing, PayPal, Roku, AT&T. So I think we already looked at XLF. Does have a PMG type. I mean, definitely a PMG setup here. I'd be waiting though. I mean, again, this is a big old movement here from 37 to 39, so it has some movement that it needs to make before it can become play. Plus it's an index, those are going to move a little slower, so keep that in mind. So the play actually in this case, Financial, I added a new command actually this morning to Discord. Eventually I want to open these up for everybody, but as of right now I just try to get them working. But so maybe one of the better plays is going to be doing something like playing JP Morgan. If we start seeing a reversal, these move a little bit faster, the actual stocks do, than the indexes, since they're kind of aggregate. The indexes are aggregates of the stocks themselves. So JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, those are probably the top ones there that I think a lot of people play. So we can take a look at those in case we see a pivot machine gun reversal. And let's see, oops, that way. We got the price level. I mean, again, the chart looks incredibly similar. So that's something to keep in mind there. But the 3 and then a red 3 and then a red 2 down, that's really not much of an actual play for us here in the strat world. So let's take a look at Wells Fargo. Again, 3-2, JP Morgan, 3-2. It's going to be across the board. So like I said, I'd be looking for maybe XLF to rebound, to go into the PMG to the upside, and then maybe look at one of these guys, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc., to get a play in. All right, back to our testing. DraftKings. I don't know what's going on. Everybody I talk to plays on DraftKings, but they just aren't doing well. It's crazy. I mean, completely failed that broadening formation. Let's move out to the month. I mean, I don't. So it looks like it found some pretty. That's kind of where it started rebounding there on that month. So, I mean, goodness gracious, if we fail that, the next drop that we see is going to be to $19. And, I mean, that's on the monthly, y'all. That's crazy. So, yeah, PMG to the upside on the week. Can easily see why. But, let's move that. We need to see 46.57, then 70 or 37.71 to really kind of start seeing a true reversal there. So have to do this. Got big. So there's DraftKings. PayPal. I like PayPal. I've always really liked PayPal. It moves nicely. Just, man, nothing looks good. Let's actually just remove it all. When I do my broadening formations, I typically draw them on the day because that's kind of what I stick to day trading. So I don't really draw a lot of broadening formations on the weekly level, even though it's, I mean, not bad, but so yeah, PayPal, just another 2-2. I mean, this is definitely pivot machine gun. Again, pivot machine guns are going to be when you have 5 consecutive lower highs, or 5. Trying to make sure I say that right. In my head, I'm just like lower highs or higher lows. So anyway, we have lower highs here. So the high of the week here is 230.97. Then we have a lower high and a lower high, but you need to have 5 consecutive ones. In this case, we have a lot more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, the idea would be then that we start seeing a reversal, and that's, you have little shots, so to speak. That's why it's called machine gun. Pop, 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 and then eventually the popping stops, and you get a rebound there. That's kind of the idea, or hence the nickname. Interestingly enough, it's also kind of bounced right on that VWAP line. So I don't know. Maybe PayPal's going to see some life. We'll see. Keep an eye on PayPal. Always like PayPal. Oh, Roku. All right. Anybody have requests? I'll throw them in the chat there. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up pretty quick, so I can go fix my audio problems for next time. All right. So Roku. Wow, oops. One thing about that I don't necessarily do well is my broadening formations. I mean, the idea would be to take it from the latest low and move it back, but I don't know. I kind of want to see if this was a pivot point, but I want to see if maybe it bounces here. I mean, that's interesting enough right around that VWAP line. So I don't know. Broadening formation, something I definitely still need a lot of practice on, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, another pivot machine gun setup. Has a lot of movement, obviously, to the upside, just like everything else does. Zoom in right quick here so yeah, we have a little bit of a movement. Actually, that's like $3 of a movement, but again, I think PayPal's options, they go by like the 2.5. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at these. See, I like Cisco. All right, let's go to Cisco. Mark Nika, if you figure out the trick, let me know. I'm still working on it myself. I'm more of the price action side of things. So when I look at a lot of these, if I see if I can get over this level, if I can get over this level strongly, then we can move to the next level easily, just because of the relative strength that we saw and the movement and so on. So yeah, that's usually how I look at stuff. But the only problem with that is I actually have to sit there and stare at it then, and I don't really have a lot of time for that. So I don't know. It's if I can figure out the broadening formation stuff, it's not too bad, especially on the really. I mean, goodness gracious! Like, you look at what were there with the XLF? We'll go back to Cisco here in a second. No, not XLF. Just looked at it. Um, wow. Oh, deking, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess maybe I could connect that guy there, but all I've done is now say, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense because if this continues to be a two down, we quickly fail the broadening formation. So, I mean, the broadening formation is supposed to kind of act as a line of resistance and support. So to me, I shouldn't be connecting the current point. I should be, using like this 2 and this 3 here. So now this would be a place to maybe rebound. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever really want to use the most recent bar because all I'm looking at then is potential failure after failure after failure. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, Cisco, that's where we're at. So, Cisco. Oops, price level. So yeah, Cisco does look 212 to the upside. Now you haven't even met it didn't meet the actual price target yet, so up to 5808. And you got a 58. I mean, this could easily get to 60. Actually, that's kind of crazy. Cisco, if I were to look at like QQQ, it's like there's just certain tech stocks that trip me out. They go against the grain. Was it Roblox? It's like, well, I mean, okay, so on the 8th and the 15th, things were great for Roblox. Let me look at the 8th and for the Qs, and it was not good. Now the 15th was actually a lot better, so I can see why Roblox would follow that trend, but I don't know. Sort of like for a break above 56. So back to Cisco. Sorry, I get distracted really easily and see a squirrel and start looking. 5642 for a break above. So you're actually like looking. So right there, okay. Running formation on the weekly. Yeah, it definitely is a slow mover. The other one that's really slow is Juniper. Played that. I prefer playing Cisco. It's definitely a little bit faster. ATR, yeah, $1.32. Actually, what was Juniper at? Yeah, 72 cents. Woohoo! That's when you gotta get things, far out, then just hope that they do well, which I don't like hoping. Boeing. Okay, look at Boeing. Oh, so Boeing always like defies everything. They have bad news about engines falling off their planes and their stock goes up. It always trips me out. All right, so I mean, gotta remember I'm looking at these on the weekly level too. It probably shouldn't be going back as far. Yep. So I mean, maybe balance. They got the VWAP line, so pop over VWAP. It does act as a level of resistance. Take it with a grain of salt though. But I mean, some people use EMA or SMA, VWAP, you name it. There's any level of resistance that you might want to have there. I like VWAP, but anyway, so yeah, get that nice pop. And you'd be looking for the reversal. Oh my goodness, cancel that. Price. Look at the reversal, and then, I mean, yeah, it doesn't actually look that bad. Break out of that broadening formation, you got a pretty nice move. Boeing's always one to keep an eye on, just because when it does move, it moves so fast. Yeah, average range is like $8 in a day. It's, ooh, and on the daily, got a nice little gap fill. $2-ish gap fill. It's not bad. Boeing, keep an eye out. All right, what else we got? Boeing, D King, PayPal, Roku. Oh yeah, Cisco is the 1-2 up. That's what we already looked at though. So I'll go back to that one actually, 'cause I feel like I looked at it and then we didn't look at it and then we did. A lot of. Okay, yeah, 1-2 up. So. It's definitely a bullish reversal. Now, yeah, we'd be looking for it to continue. I do like Cisco though. Right on that one down. All right, what's left? We got the 1-2 downs. Walmart, Domino's, and who's it? All right, Walmart. Tesla, all right. So, wow. Tell you what, when Walmart falls, it really falls. And then it takes so many steps up. And like one candle can just wipe it out. Like that's like the definition of one step forward, two steps back. All right, our play was what? 1-2 down. So, wow, we'd be looking for a, I mean, hopeful rev strat. That's Walmart. Wow, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so let's see. The rev strat entry would be 145.25, then move to 147. I mean, goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of a pivot machine gun. Almost. Yeah. So you'd have more than 5, but see where it opens. Below 145.25. I mean, goodness, got a nice long drop at that point. So Walmart, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it is the holiday season. Maybe that's gonna help people out, but then again, this first weekly candle did not. You got Black Friday numbers, Cyber Monday numbers. I don't know. Walmart could see some quick life. What did it do last year around this time? Let's go to the month. December. Green 2 down in December. Consolidation. Okay, so they don't really do historically well in December. Okay then. Oh man, people are outside mowing my lawn, it sounds like. Sorry if that is that noisy, really noisy. Alright, so Tesla on the weekly. So 2 up, 2 down reversal. Yeah, I mean, I kind of chop shop here. All right, thanks, Layla. A lot of, man, Tesla's just one of those. Again, it's a lot like Boeing. I mean, it just moves to move. People feel like they want to get into Tesla, they get into Tesla, and for no reason. Then again, you don't need a reason to get into anything, right? Like, I mean, fundamentals are dead as far as I'm concerned. It's all about price action and technical analysis. But Tesla can go either way. I mean, there's a lot of things. Elon tweets, but he's still selling off shares, right? So, or is he done? I don't know anymore. So, yeah, Tesla can really go either way. I mean, nothing's actionable here yet. I mean, just, you know, we see a reversal, sure. Our entry point on that reversal, though, would have been here, playing some puts. So at that 162.02 area, whatever. move that guy. So I mean, at this point, if we were going to reverse, our entry point would be the 111.7284. But then again, you still don't have a ton of movement to the upside. Like, yeah, crypto dumping, Tesla will fail. I don't. The thing is, they're kind of tied to Bitcoin now. I mean, to digital or crypto anyway now, just because they. I don't know. I mean, again, Elon tweets something about it. Go buy Ethereum instead. Yeah, Tesla's gonna dump, as he's done in the past. So, yeah, it did. Wow, it did dump. Yeah, like these companies that are tied to Bitcoin, like make it really hard. I mean, last week we looked at Mara and Riot, and I mean, the crazy thing is, I dumped overnight, so you can't really touch Mara right now. But I mean, Mara ended up doing the failure side of the play that we were looking at and going right to pretty much where we drew a line anyway at 39.55, and then Riot did the same thing. I actually ended up playing Riot. I went even further. I just played to the 31.42, and that would have been a nice put play, way past where the expectation was. But yeah, I do think I think there's definitely some downside to Tesla if Bitcoin keeps dropping. Now the crazy thing about Bitcoin is, or crypto in general, right? I mean, it's all tied to Bitcoin, even though they all say they're not. So Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum goes down, Dogecoin drops. I mean, it's across the board oddity. Like, I mean, just somebody says something bad about Bitcoin, everything suffers. And now companies on top of that, you know, Square, they're pretty tied to Bitcoin or crypto as well. Tesla, Riot, Mara, the blockchain, you know, the blockchain folks and stuff, they're all tied to crypto, so I don't see why it wouldn't drop more. But then again, it could rebound tomorrow. Who knows crypto. That one's even worse than Boeing as far as why things go the way they go. All right, Lucid and Dominoes, and then we'll wrap this up. So 2-1-2 completed to the downside on Dominoes. I think we looked at this last week too. It's just one of those. It's very liquid. There's not a lot of play in Dominoes. It's from the option side of things, and if you want to buy stock in the company, it's going to cost you about $520, which is crazy to me. I mean, look at the buy-ask spread. Bid-ask is what, 508 and 565. Chart BTC had just dropped massively. So the one thing that I'm noticing, so Thinkorswim had some maintenance going on earlier. I don't think any of my stuff is updating. But yeah, anyway, so I'll chart with what I got in front of me here. Again, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, still another 2 down. Be interesting if these charts even save, and then where it dropped to is the next question, right? So where did it drop to? Let me go pop on like is that trading view? Oof, yeah, it did. $48,222. So yeah, it went all the way down to 42.44. Wow. I'd restart my Thinkorswim just to see if it starts updating again, but I mean, we're kind of wrapping this up anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, it did definitely drop though. So, I mean, goodness gracious, where do you go? Where do you go from there? I mean, it's question is who said what. Oh, that's true. Evergrande, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of rippling effects on that. They had their fingers in everything. Evergrande did. Evergrande, whatever it is. Yeah, they had their fingers in everything, especially real estate. That's going to be. Is it XLRE, the real estate one? I don't like how this is not updating. Now it's bothering me. XLRE hasn't really moved. Anyway, so yeah, that's we're looking at Domino's, and last but not least, we have Lucid. So, I guess we charted this last week. Went to the downside. 212 to the down, almost completed the move to 43. Didn't get exactly there, but I don't know. I mean, this is your ouch. This is your textbook bearish reversal. So could definitely see some bearish continuation there with another 2 down. 7 would be your entry to a move for 43 to potentially tighten the stop loss or get out, I guess, if you want to play the short side very quickly. But then you got to move to 39.34. Pretty solid OI and volume for those options, so not really a bad look there. I think on the daily it does move pretty. Yeah, it moves like $5 in a day. So yeah, it's Lucid's is not really a bad idea. I'd be looking to play on that one. Not exactly anything actionable in a 2-2 continuation that you'd be getting in on, but it's not a bad idea. So at that point, if I was gonna hold it for the week, then I'd be looking for a setup there, but I don't. I quickly, get in and get out. So, day I'd be looking for it to break the 44.57 area. That's really where I would start with everything. So let me go make that red. So then after it gets past 44.57, I'd then be looking at a smaller time frame, like the 15 or the 30, for an entry, like a 212 entry or a 1-2 kind of rev strat, maybe a 3-2. Just really depends. It doesn't really depend on me. It just I take a look at the different levels and see what I want. But I'll usually try to jump in on an actionable setup. So in this case, like a 212 to the downside, that would have failed pretty quickly. So no, thank you. If I wanted to play the upside, I would have waited for it to, hit 45.79. Actually, that really wasn't much of a movement anyway. I would have probably been waiting for it to move below that particular, the initial 2 down candle before I would have got in. So that would have been not a play anyway. On the 15. Guess we'll look over some of the things I did yesterday, Lotto Friday, right quick. So Roblox, that was one that I liked for puts. I thought either it was going to go to, my 2 levels were 111 or 104, so to kind of give you guys an example of what ended up happening here. The first 5 minutes, since it was Lotto Friday. So we had a 2-2 reversal, 2 up, 2 down very quickly, and then we had a 3 with another 2 down. This thing just started slipping real quickly. one of the things I'm trying here is some EMA clouds. So it has the indicator, which is interestingly enough, you know, based on, I guess, just consecutive or the next candle crossover. But I was looking at this. I was looking at something actionable to get in on, and my actual point was to truly play a 2-2 continuation since I was looking for a quick scalp. That was my level, to recall. So it ended up being a 3-bar. The other thing I was working on, while we won't see it, actually I guess I can go to the very end. I've been working on this little add-on ThinkScript thing for the Sarah's 50% rule. So yet another way to either lose money or make money depending on how you look at it. But if it, the idea is if the current candle crosses 50% of the previous candle, like let's say we had a 2 up here, if we start seeing a retracement, so the candle goes 2 up, but then it ends up, starting to come back through, across that 50% line, the possibility of it becoming a 3-bar is a lot better, a lot higher, I guess. So I think she said she had like an 84% like win rate correction. I mean, it worked out 84% of the time. So to me, I see a number like that and say, well, interesting. So I've been working on this little ThinkScript thing to just basically like give me those lines so that I have an idea, and to show you what the true power there, I guess. I mean, the first day I tried it, right, I wrote this thing, and here's the daily. Here's the 50% of the 1 bar on the second, and then we had it went 2 up, but then it ended up completely failing, coming through, and then went 3. That's one example. SPY is another example. 2 up, failed, and went 3. So I'm part of Alex's Discord. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I mean, I'm on his Discord. It doesn't cost anything. I don't really flip through channels much anymore since I'm pretty focused on making sure the alerts look good and stuff like that in ours or Theta. So I mean, gosh, I'm part of a few Discords. I don't really like getting tons of alerts. So I either mute them or I'll either mute things or just not really worry about them. I don't know, or does he have some paid version? I don't. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah. So, and I was part of Alex. I guess I'll elaborate a little more. I was part of Alex's server. Oh, that's my dog. I was part of Alex's server when I was learning the strat. That was actually like the first server I found, and yeah, it's not a bad server. I mean, a lot of people talk on there, which is nice during the day. So, I mean, it's again, it's a free server, so there it is. But I'm not active in it. All right, so yeah, SPY again with the 50%. Again, it just happens. It's actually kind of crazy. What else had 3 bars? I mean, XLF would have done it if it ended up going 2 up. I mean, it's actually really interesting how statistically relevant that 50% play actually is. So I don't know, keep an eye on that. I'm gonna hone this in a little bit and then throw it out on the Discord server so that you can use it if you're using Thinkorswim. I already know if you're using TradingView, there is one out there. I don't have a link for it. I just saw that it was tweeted at one point. So, yeah. Anyway, are there any other tickers? Oh, so any other tickers you want to look at? Let me know. Pop them in here now. Emissary. Yeah, I do agree with you there. Mainly because they're they extrapolated the simplicity or the simpler things out of what Rob was saying, I think, and they're just able to translate it better because they learned it. It's kind of like me if I'm sitting here trying to explain like how to code to somebody. A lot of it's going to go over the head of the people that are listening. Just because I'm so close to it at that point, I just kind of have the assumption that everybody knows what's going on already. It doesn't make me a bad teacher by any means. It's just I'm too close to the project or the code or the whatever I'm working on. So and I think it was a paid Discord. I think at one point. I mean, it was nothing crazy. It was like I think $5 to get alerts, or something. I don't remember. But anyway, that's actually where a lot of this idea came from for the Discord. I was originally talking to Alex because he'd thrown something out there about trying to make alerts, and if people would be willing to pay money for it, and I just started having a conversation with him about whether or not it was something that people would be willing to pay for. So anyway, that was that. Nothing crazy, but I think he tried it out and it worked a little bit. We did do Intel. My dog is a whiner, as y'all probably hear. We did do Intel. There just wasn't much of a. It was 2-1, so you'd be looking for a break to the upside here. They always acknowledge who they learned from and never try to make ridiculous money. Right. I mean, like the people like Sarah and Alex, they do great for the community. Hold on one second, y'all. So anyway, so Intel was a 2-1 setup. We'd be looking for the upside. It just doesn't have a lot of movement. That's the one thing that we didn't really like about it, at least on the weekly levels. So definitely has a lot of downside though. Oh my gosh, what's happened to my chart? Go back to auto. There we go. So yeah, definitely to me, there's a little bit of support right below where we're looking at. That one bar is dangerously close to that support, and then we're looking at a lot bigger of a drop, at least in terms of how Intel moves. $1.30 or so is a pretty decent drop for them. WBA. Oh, last time I played WBA, I don't remember. It must have been around here because I drew the candles. So, well, I mean, goodness gracious, if that holds true, then this guy hit the broadening formation bottom and just started rocketing back up. That's a nice hammer candle on the weekly. So let's remove these levels here. I don't want to clear them all out since the broadening formation might actually be valid there. Yeah, 46.58 to 48.08, that's a pretty awesome move if the reversal continues. That's a good find, Layla. Take a screenshot of that one. Layla, you got a Twitter handle? I'll give you credit for that find. Throw it on Twitter. Yeah, what else? Anybody else got anything else to look at? British American Tobacco. Huh. Interesting. 35. It's a scanner I have within Thinkorswim for finding hammers. Wow, okay. It's such a slow mover though. That kind of makes it a bummer of a play. 50-ish cents in a day. So that's interesting actually. So it's already at 34.44. Gojira. Nice. So I don't know. I mean, the next calls, the 35 area, you got what, another 2 weeks before they'd expire. It's not bad. A lot of open interest in it. I don't know. BTI might be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Over 34.44. It's a slow mover, but I don't see why it couldn't hit 35 and your calls all of a sudden be in the money. But then on a weekly level, let's see. I mean, it hits 35, goes past that, you'd be 50 cents in the money, roughly, with intrinsic value. So your options would be worth like 90 cents. You can put in what, 40, 45? And we'll go 40. Go with the mark. Interesting. Well, slow mover, but hey, you never know. Next one, CWK. I like hammers. They're always fun. So the buyers started moving back on this one. Just not enough to take out the sellers. But there is no open interest to speak of, so no thank you. Euronet. It's funny, some of these companies you never hear of. Scanners are a good topic for next time. Yeah. I asked if people use Thinkorswim in the Discord, and I think I got maybe like 14 or 15 reactions to it. But yeah, I think scanners are definitely something good. One of the cool things you can do in Thinkorswim is create your own candle patterns. So I've made a bunch for the strat. I mean, even if you don't use TDA to do trading, the power that they give you in this piece of software is amazing. You can make candlestick patterns that, in this case, we want to, say we want to see some 3-1s. I can, sit here and actually say, what are we looking at here? It's actually really awesome, the power that they give you here. So, I don't know. We can definitely go over that sometime. Disney. Okay, look at Disney. So, right down to VWAP, started bouncing. That's pretty awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly a pivot machine gun. So, what do I know about Disney? They missed hard on earnings. They could be affected by the Delta or what Omicron variant. It's hard to say much about Disney. I don't like to bet against the mouse. That's what a lot of people say in the stock market, and truly they're right. I think the last time I got puts was never. Although it would have worked out, a couple weeks back, starting in November. Man. So 222 down. Interesting. Okay, so on the daily we have a reversal. 312 up. So now I'd be looking for a continuation on the daily. So maybe we see like a 1 bar, some consolidation. But we get past the 149.30 area. That's kind of where you can start playing pivot machine gun. Minus that guy. Don't worry about that little guy. Watch Super Troopers. So yeah, I don't know. Disney. I really like this gap fill territory though. That's the one I like. The 163 to 173. $10 move. That'd be something to set an alert for and keep an eye on, because when it gets there, it's definitely one of those. This is new too. This create alert withdrawing. I guess they took it from Thinkorswim, but everything's awesome there. So I'll make an alert, and then when it pings me in 3 weeks, I'll try to remember why I made that in the first place. So that's usually how it works. Anyway, yeah, so that's Disney. All right, well, now it's 11:09. Anybody got any last minute questions? Otherwise, I think we'll, stop this and start looking at how you want to play your portfolio. I'll post some of the things that we went over on Twitter. So if you follow me, definitely retweet those or share them out, whatever, like them. Cool. All right. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to end this now, and y'all have a good remaining weekend. Take care.